killed his daddy. What are you talking about? Karan was not his daddy and nobody killed him. That nigga died because he died. The fuck? Nigga get to playing with me on the internet and he wound up dead. Oh, I did it? No, I didn't. Y'all need to stop doing that. I actually loved.
Yo, what I'm about to tell you is some next-level twisted shit that's going to have you questioning everything you thought you knew about Christian Rock and this whole baby daddy drama. We're talking about a young man named Ronnie who got gunned down in front of his own home. And according to his own words in what would be his final interview, Chrissy and Rock might have orchestrated the whole thing to keep Blueface in the dark about who really fathered her son.
Gets killed, and then like right after he gets killed, she posts up like,
no cap. This story involves murder, DNA tests, powerful politicians, and family members throwing each other under the bus. And the craziest part, Blueface just found out he's not even the father, which means everything Ronnie was saying before he died might have been the truth. Chrissy and Rock was riding high as Blueface's main girl, living that crazy lifestyle we all been watching unfold on social media. But here's what really went down. She allegedly had a whole other man claiming her baby. And when that man started demanding DNA tests and threatening to expose the truth, he ended up dead. The streets don't just happen to work out that convenient. And Ronnie's own words before he died paint a picture that'll have you shook. To understand how deep this really goes, we got to rewind to when Ronnie was still breathing and telling his side of the story. Let's go back to when Ronnie first stepped forward claiming Kryan's baby was his. This wasn't any random dude trying to clout chase. According to his final interview, he and Kryan had a serious history that went way back to their teenage years. I was 16, 17 years old in my mama house, selling weed and letting her stay with me, taking her to school, buying her food, buying her clothes, Ronnie explained in that last conversation. She stayed with me in my mama house until she left for college. But this wasn't just some young love situation. Ronnie was out here making real sacrifices for Kryan. When her and her sister got into some drama about the dude her sister was dealing with and Christian got put out, Ronnie stepped up. I felt like Captain Save-A-Ho and I let her move into my mama house with me. He said she stayed with me in my mama's house until she left for college. Here's where it gets crazy. Ronnie wasn't just some young dude she was messing with. He was out here catching cases for this girl. Literally willing to take charges to protect her. I just came home ready to take charge for her, he said, talking about how Syrian was supposed to take charge for him, but then some wild happened with her family connections. Ronnie described how he came home from doing time broke as hell because his lawyer cost him $80,000 and he was struggling to get back on his feet. I came home broke for real cause my lawyer was like $80,000, man. So I came home broke, ain't had nothing, was trying to hustle, get my feet back under me, and just was having a hard time. During this vulnerable time, he started realizing that Christian might not have loved him the way he loved her. I had to really learn the hard way that she ain't really loved me as much as I loved her. He admitted, I wasn't really in love with this girl, man. I had to really learn the hard way. Now, to really understand this, you got to know that Ronnie discovered some heavy information about Kryan's real father that changed everything. Not the dude she was claiming was her godfather. We talking about a whole politician with serious connections in Baltimore. Her father has a law firm. He's a politician, Ronnie revealed in what would be his final interview. Baltimore City is real, crooked, corrupt man. So, I don't even really know what I'm going up against. But here's the wild part about how Ronnie figured all this out. He explained the whole family dynamic that nobody knew about. Her dad is Sean Malone. So Charlotte, that's Christian's mother, is beautiful inside and out. But she was caught up with drugs, which was her downfall. Ronnie broke down this crazy family situation where Sean Malone was married to Lisa, but Lisa used to be like a madam who would lure beautiful women with drugs and then exploit them when they couldn't pay. Lisa used to sell dope, but she also was like a little madam, basically like a female pimp. She used to lure in all the beautiful females in the city by giving them dope. And when they couldn't pay for their dope no more, she had them as lick lizards, basically selling their stuff. This explains why Christian was getting out of legal trouble, left and right. Every time she gets in trouble in Maryland, her and Tia, they get scot-free, walk away, no charges, no nothing. It's because her father is her get-out-of-jail-free card. Then this happened. Cryan starts getting serious with Blueface, but she's got this baby situation brewing with Ronnie. According to multiple sources, Ronnie wasn't backing down from claiming his kid. He was demanding DNA tests and making it clear he wanted to be in the child's life. The timeline of events gets suspicious real quick. Ronnie described how Christian would play these mind games with him. She told me to come to the mall, told me to come up there to come and see my son, but when I got there, she pulled the "I don't know you. You're harassing me. Why are you here?" But that's not even the crazy part. Check this out. The timing of legal documents was impossible without inside help. I seen her at 6 p.m. on November 29th. How is it that she had a restraining order placed on me at 12 a.m. on November 29th? That sound like a setup, right? Ronnie connected this directly to her father's influence. Baltimore City is real crooked, corrupt man. I don't even really know what I'm going up against because her father has a law firm. He's a politician. According to Ronnie, Kian's media appearances weren't random opportunities either. Her father was pulling strings behind the scenes to build her profile. He got pulled in the city. He's a politician. He's a lawyer. So, he went and had Fox come out and do a segment on Cryan and Tia. If you do some digging, you'll see was on Fox Baltimore when she was like 17. Kian also was on Ultimate Tag. This is also because of her dad and the strings that he pulled to get her on there. Things escalated when Ronnie kept pushing for that DNA test. He wasn't just talking. He was taking legal steps to establish paternity. But every time he tried to move forward legally, he hit roadblocks that seemed to come from high places. Here's where Ronnie's story gets really wild. He described exactly how Cryan's political protection worked in real time. When she took a charge for him, something happened that regular people don't experience. When she took the charge, she's so eager to take the charge for me, but she never took a charge for me before. The state that I'm in, you go straight to the county jail. Once you get to the county jail, you see a commissioner. The commissioner determines if they want to let you out. But Cryan's experience was completely different. Cryan did not go to county jail. She went to the precinct, called her dad, and they let her go from the precinct. Think about that for a second. Normal people get processed through the system. People with political connections get special treatment. Ronnie realized at that moment exactly what kind of power he was up against. She knew that I was going to beat her ass. So she walked away from the precinct and I found her on the side of Telegraph Road. When I put all of this stuff together, I'm like, wow, now I see. Now I really see. Ronnie also revealed that Cryan had been lying about who her father was to different people. She told Blueface that her supposedly dad tried to touch her. She told me that her dad was her godfather, so she was trying to lie to evade the truth about who this guy was to her. On the day before that DNA test was supposed to happen, Ronnie got gunned down in front of his own home in Baltimore. Let me break that timing down for you. The man demands a DNA test, gets it scheduled, and then gets murdered literally the day before it's supposed to happen. That's some movie-type timing right there. According to the Lionel B. show host who had that final conversation with Ronnie, this was me and Ronnie Doe's last conversation before he was actually gunned down in front of his home in Maryland. A young life gone way too soon. Man, this is definitely a tragedy. The circumstances around his death were already suspicious, but when you add in everything Ronnie had revealed about Cryan's powerful family connections and her pattern of getting out of legal trouble, it starts looking like more than just street violence. What makes this even more suspicious is what Ronnie had said about people from Baltimore recognizing the situation. During his interview, someone had asked him about the murder, and even other people from Baltimore were suggesting it didn't look right. From what I would speak on it, it don't look too good for certain people that we know. So, I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not the police, but I'll just leave it at that. The host had mentioned that there was a guy online from Baltimore who was claiming to be her baby dad. He ended up getting murdered. When asked if Kian knew him, the response was telling, "Yes, I knew that boy." And when asked how he ended up getting murdered, the response was, "I don't know. I can't even speak on it." Here's where Christian's own family started turning on her. In interviews that came out later, Christian's sister dropped some serious allegations that had the internet going crazy. According to multiple reports, Christian's sister would hint that Christian was the one that set him up because she wanted to be with Blueface. Think about that for a second. Her own sister is basically saying Christian orchestrated Ronnie's murder to protect her relationship with Blueface. But the sister's allegations went deeper than just suggesting Christian was involved. The sister apparently had inside knowledge about the family dynamics and the corruption that Ronnie had described. She was confirming what Ronnie had said about their father's political connections and how they were being used to cover things up. The timing of the sister speaking out is important too. This wasn't something she said right after Ronnie's death. This came out later after she had time to process what happened and maybe felt guilty about staying quiet. Fast forward to recently, and everything Ronnie died trying to prove finally got confirmed. Blueface took that DNA test and found out what Ronnie had been saying all along. Junior ain't his biological son. Blueface went public with this revelation in a way that shocked everybody. Junior is not my biological son. R.I.P. to his father, Ronnie. I can no longer continue the plot. It doesn't feel right as a present father in all my kids' life to be discredited as an absent father to a child that is not biologically mine. Let that sink in. Blueface himself is now confirming that Ronnie was the real father, which means everything that man said before he died was the truth. He really was Junior's dad. He really was trying to get that DNA test, and he really did get killed right before he could prove it. But here's the wildest part. Blueface admits he was continuing the plot. That means he might have known or suspected the truth, but was going along with the lie until now. I tried my best to fill in the blanks because his biological father is no longer with us, but I can't continue the plot. Blueface also made a point that hit different after learning the full story. You think Ronnie would be chasing her all around Baltimore if that wasn't his baby? Make it make sense. This statement shows that even Blueface recognized Ronnie's behavior was that of a real father trying to claim his child, not some random dude trying to cause problems. The internet immediately started connecting the dots once Blueface's DNA results came out. Social media detectives began pulling up old interviews, old social media posts, and old news clips to piece together a timeline that was looking more and more suspicious. People started sharing clips of Ronnie's final interview where he laid out all the political corruption and family connections. They were comparing his statements to what actually happened to him, and the correlation was undeniable. Academic reacted to this whole situation and initially put it in perspective without knowing the full truth. Blueface, bro, you know that's your kid. It's kind of lame that you're trying to not claim your kid the real father dead. But now that we know Blueface isn't the father, academics' analysis hits different. The real father is dead, and it's looking more and more like that wasn't a coincidence. Academic also called out the pattern of behavior. Y'all treating the kid like it's content. That's lame. Y'all stop having babies on stream, bro. But what Academic didn't know at the time was that the whole baby on stream situation was potentially covering up a murder. This wasn't just messy reality TV drama. This was a child whose real father had been killed and whose mother was allegedly involved in that murder. Now, people are looking at the situation with fresh eyes, and it's looking more and more like Ronnie was murdered to silence him. Think about the sequence of events. Ronnie claims the baby is his and has history to back it up. Kian denies it, wants to stay with Blueface for the fame and money. Ronnie demands DNA test and takes legal steps. Mysterious restraining orders appear with impossible timing. DNA test gets scheduled. Ronnie gets murdered the day before the test. No one gets charged for his murder despite it being in broad daylight. Christian continues claiming Blueface is the father for years. Christian's sister eventually hints that Christian set Ronnie up. Years later, Blueface takes his own DNA test. Test proves Ronnie was telling the truth all along. Each step of this timeline supports Ronnie's claims about political corruption protecting Kian and her family. The fact that his murder remains unsolved despite happening in front of his home fits perfectly with his predictions about Baltimore's corrupt system. Before he died, Ronnie had painted a detailed picture of systematic corruption that protected Christian through her father's political connections. This wasn't just speculation. He gave specific examples of how this protection worked. He described how Sean Malone had built his political career while maintaining connections to both legitimate and illegitimate activities. Sean met Charlotte and took a liking to Charlotte. He liked Charlotte a lot. He ended up basically having Christian and Tia with Charlotte, but he could never do nothing with Charlotte because she was on dope, but she was beautiful, but also because Lisa wasn't letting him. Lisa is Sean's wife. This family dynamic created a situation where Sean felt guilty about abandoning his daughters, but also couldn't publicly acknowledge them because of his marriage and political career. He was always on some stuff like having that guilty conscience, but Lisa was always trying to force him to stay away from his daughters. When Sean finally decided to help his daughters, he used his political connections to give them opportunities. He got pulled in the city. He's a politician, he's a lawyer. So he went and had Fox come out and do a segment on Christian and Tia. But this same system that could get his daughters on TV could also protect them from legal consequences. Ronnie witnessed this firsthand when Christian got special treatment that regular people don't receive. This situation exposes some real problems with how power and connections can be used to silence people and cover up crimes in the hip-hop world. Ronnie wasn't just some random dude. He was a father trying to claim his child, and he got murdered for it. The hip-hop community has been watching this unfold in real time, and it's raising questions about how many other situations like this might be happening behind the scenes. When you have that level of political and legal protection, what can't you get away with? Academic touched on this when he talked about how Christian's situation should serve as a warning. Chris Sean Rock and her situation exists as a PSA. With all due respect, even though I think y'all might take this the wrong way, but when I get a girl pregnant, I might stop drinking. I got to have my baby healthy as hell. But Academic was focusing on the pregnancy and substance use. He didn't realize he was looking at a situation where a child's real father had been allegedly murdered to cover up the truth about paternity. The culture has been consuming this drama as entertainment, not realizing there was potentially a body count behind the storyline. People were watching Cryan and Blueface relationship drama on social media. While Ronnie's murder went uninvestigated, Today is still dealing with the fallout from all of this. Blueface has publicly distanced himself from Junior, confirming that Ronnie was the real father. The internet is investigating every detail of Ronnie's murder with fresh eyes, and people are asking why no one was ever charged for his death. Cryan's response to Blueface's revelation has been to double down on protecting Junior. She went live recently addressing the situation. My son walking, my son talking, my son eating. Just because I don't post on the internet, I don't give a damn about proving anything to y'all. But now people are asking different questions. Is she protecting Junior from Blueface? Or is she trying to control the narrative about what really happened to his father? The family dynamics are completely destroyed. Her own sister threw her under the bus about the setup. Blueface is done with the situation, and the truth about Ronnie is finally coming out after his death. Blueface's mother even weighed in on the situation, explaining why there's no contact. His mother has refused to have any contact with me. She won't have no contact with Junior unless she has the same kind of contact that he has with Jaden. Meanwhile, Ronnie's murder remains unsolved, which fits exactly with his predictions about Baltimore's corrupt system protecting Cryan's family. No arrests, no charges, no justice for a young father who just wanted to claim his child. The streets are now looking at every aspect of this case differently. What once seemed like typical baby mama drama is now being examined as a potential murder conspiracy involving political corruption and institutional cover-ups. This whole situation changed everything about how we look at celebrity drama and social media relationships. What looked like messy baby daddy drama was actually covering up a potential murder conspiracy involving political corruption and family power. Ronnie's legacy is that he died telling the truth. And that truth finally came out even after his death. The DNA results that he never got to see proved everything he was saying. His son Junior is growing up without his real father because someone allegedly wanted to keep a lie going for money and fame. The streets learned that even when you think you know the full story, there might be bodies buried underneath the drama. Ronnie tried to warn people about what he was up against. I don't even really know what I'm going up against, man. And it cost him his life. Today, when people see similar situations playing out on social media, they remember Ronnie's case. They remember that sometimes the person demanding the DNA test is telling the truth. And sometimes the people trying to silence them have the connections to make that happen permanently. The hip-hop community lost a young father who was just trying to claim his child and gained a cautionary tale about what happens when regular people go up against families with institutional power. Christian Rock's name will forever be connected to these allegations, and her own sister's words will follow her. She allegedly set up her baby's father to be murdered because she wanted to stay with Blueface for the money and fame. That's some cold-blooded stuff that shows how far people will go to protect their interests, even if it means blood on their hands. Ronnie deserved better. Junior deserved to know his real father, and the truth deserved to come out while Ronnie was still alive to see it. No cap. This story proves that sometimes the most shocking truth is hiding behind the messiest drama. And sometimes people really do kill to keep their secrets buried. The fact that it took Blueface's own DNA test to finally vindicate a dead man shows just how deep this conspiracy went and how close it came to staying buried forever.